What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Touchdown Kingdom. We're super excited to bring you another predictions video here on the channel, this time for Week 11. Let's get right into it. Our first matchup of the week is a fun one between the Bengals and the Ravens. Both teams found ways to lose in upsetting fashion this past weekend, but make no mistake, this is still a matchup that football fans are looking forward to, especially since Thursday Night Football has been so hit or miss as of late. Ultimately, I think the Ravens are the better team, but the Bengals have more talent. I'll take Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase over Lamar Jackson and OBJ for the long haul, but I like the Ravens to win this game. Joe Burrow has had an up and down season, and the Ravens defense knows how to contain him. Ravens win in a close one, 24-21.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Up next, we have the Steelers at the Browns. Both the Steelers and the Browns continue to find ways to win despite not having picture-perfect seasons overall. The Browns definitely have the superior roster, but head coach Mike Tomlin and the Steelers' defense are what continues to keep them in games and keep them winning games. It's going to be a huge test for Kenny Pickett against this elite Browns defense, but I do like the Steelers to find a way to get the upset like they always seem to do. The AFC North is currently the best and most interesting division in football, and this weekend will be a decisive one for all four teams. But I like the Steelers to get the road upset 21-20. Moving on to the Cardinals at the Texans. CJ Stroud has really put his name on the map. Once again, he willed his team to victory this past week with a game-winning drive, and now he finds himself in MVP conversations as a serious candidate. He might be playing better football than any other quarterback in the NFL right now. Lucky for Stroud and the Texans, they'll get a nice opportunity to keep the train rolling and get a dub against the lifeless Arizona Cardinals, who are on their way to a top draft pick in 2024. Texans win 27-17. Following that up with a matchup between the Chargers and the Packers. The Chargers might be the best, worst team ever. They somehow found a way to put up 38 points and still lose the game to the Lions. All of this comes right after they dominated the Jets back in Week 9. You'd like to think that the Chargers are due for another win with the way their offense plays, but their defense is just totally a liability. This could be a good opportunity for Packers quarterback Jordan Love to put up numbers, but I ultimately think that Los Angeles comes away with the W. Chargers win 25-20. Up next, we have the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. The Giants are coming off of yet another embarrassing loss, this time a defeat at the hands of the Cowboys with a score of 49-17. The fact that the Giants have a crazy win streak against the Commanders, but are still 10-point underdogs on the road, really tells you a lot about how far this team has fallen. I think the Giants will find a way to make it a close game, as they always do against Washington, but I just can't predict the Giants win here. I like Washington to get the W, 18-13. Up next, we have the Titans at the Jaguars. The Jaguars' hot streak came to a crashing end last week at the hands of San Francisco in what was ultimately a 34-3 thrashing. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense couldn't get anything going all game long, and their defense got exposed by Brock Purdy, who had a great game. Lucky for the Jaguars, they had a good opportunity to get a rebound this week against an inconsistent Titans team. Will Levis has showed some promise in his short career, but the Titans are too inconsistent overall, and I don't expect him to play very well against the Jags defense, who will be hungry for a win. Jaguars get the W, 24-17. Alright guys, just want to take a second to remind you to please like the video if you're enjoying it, consider subscribing if you're new to the channel so you can stay up to date on all of our content, and most importantly, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now let's get right back into the video. Next up, we have the Bears at the Lions. The Lions managed to put up 41 points to nail Justin Herbert and the Chargers in a crazy shootout last week. Their offense was dynamic and fun to watch, while their defense did not play as well. They let up 38 points, but still found a way to get the W, and to a franchise that's crawling out of the depths, winning is all that matters. Dan Campbell and the Lions have a strong hold on the NFC North, and I like them to get another win this week, this time over the struggling Bears, who have no identity whatsoever. Lions win 31-14. Moving on to the Raiders and the Dolphins. The Raiders are flying high after yet another big win under new interim head coach Antonio Pierce. 2 weeks ago it was the Giants, and last week it was the Jets. The Jets were embarrassed by the Raiders' defense, who didn't allow a single touchdown all game long. The Raiders still struggle on offense, but they've proved that they can beat teams with bad quarterbacks. Now they might be in for a rude awakening as they head down to Miami to take on Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. The Raiders haven't seen an offense like the Dolphins under Antonio Pierce, and I'd be absolutely shocked if they came out of this game with a win. Give me the Dolphins 24-15. Next up, we have the Cowboys at the Panthers. The Cowboys are coming off of another dominant win over the Giants. Watching games like that, you can understand how Dallas is still a threat to come out of the NFC. Dak Prescott had a good game, wide receivers CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks both had very good games, and their defense was absolutely suffocating. There's no reason to believe they won't have a repeat performance this week against Bryce Young and the one-win Panthers. Cowboys win 30-10. Next, we have the Buccaneers at the 49ers. The 49ers enjoyed a 34-3 blowout victory over the Jags, who were red hot going into the game. After losing a few in a row, the 49ers came back refreshed after their bye week and took care of business. Now they're set to face the Buccaneers, who are coming off of a win of their own, but are also very inconsistent, sitting at 4-5 on the year. This should be no problem for the Niners, who are 12-point favorites for a reason. Niners win 28-14. Next up, we have the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks squeezed out a win over Washington last week, but it wasn't the prettiest of games. Regardless, a win is a win, and I'm sure they're feeling good about their chances against the 3-6 Rams. The Rams have had some sparks on offense here and there, but consistency has been their issue all season long. The Seahawks have a fun defense, and they should be able to make life difficult for Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense. New addition Leonard Williams showed up with his first sack as a Seahawk, and they have talented pieces on all three levels of that defense. I like the Seahawks to squeeze out another win, 23-21. Next up, we have the Jets and the Bills. The Jets' offense have hit new lows. Zach Wilson has 5 total touchdowns on the year. They have the worst third down conversion percentage in the history of the modern league, and undisciplined penalties continue to haunt them week after week. Their defense is elite and has already beaten Josh Allen and the Bills once this year, but the ineptitude of the Jets' offense will ultimately be what holds them back yet again. The Bills look like they're on the brink of falling apart themselves after a loss to the Broncos, but this should be a get-right game for Josh Allen and co. The Jets' offense simply cannot score touchdown, and the Bills can. Bills win 20-13. Moving on to Sunday Night Football between the Vikings and the Broncos. The Vikings are feeling great with new quarterback Josh Dobbs leading the way. Dobbs already has 5 touchdown passes in 2 games with the Vikings. Things are quickly turning around for Minnesota, and there's some life left in their season. The same could be said for the Broncos, who most recently beat the Chiefs and the Bills in back-to-back weeks. They've done an impressive job of turning their season around, but there's still a long way to go for both teams. Ultimately, I feel like the Vikings are going to come away with another win. Their offense finds ways to get the ball into the end zone, and I think they'll win on the last drive of the game. Vikings get the win 24-21. And now finally, our last matchup of Week 11, Monday Night Football between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Everybody is looking forward to this one, and it should be the game of the week without a doubt. It's a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, and definitely a preview of what this year's could look like as well. This game will have millions of eyes on it. It's a tough game to predict, as both teams are filled with talent from top to bottom. I'd actually say the Eagles have the more complete roster overall, but my gut is telling me that we're about to witness a masterclass from Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, who must be angry after losing to Denver a few weeks back and adding a meaningless L in their loss column. They haven't had a dominant win in a while, and I don't think it'll come against Philadelphia, but I do think they'll win the game outright. Give me the Chiefs in a shootout, 31-28. All right, everybody, that wraps up another video here on Touchdown Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please smash that like button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And most importantly, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.